All right, welcome to the After Party Podcast. I'm your host here, RJ Singh, and we got your host here, Rob, and we got your other host here, Brendan. What's up, fellas?
What's happening?
All right, here we go, another one.
I got to figure out what my go-to line is every time I come in, you know.
Yeah.
How did that sound? What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
I think there's a rapper.
I know.
Right?
Dang it.
I think we got to think of something, right? Like you
Our
know,
own catch.
Yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Damn it.
I think we should just the next whole podcast. Let's just try different intros.
Okay,
Yeah, good.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
See what sticks.
I like it.
Yeah.
So what's up today, guys?
Unless we get canceled, right? One of these openers.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, so
What's on deck?
let's before what's on deck, what have we done? Let's just talk about our last podcast,
All right.
right? So our last podcast, we went through the lady who made TikTok viral on TikTok, asking she's a progressive looking for a more traditional man, but she can only find a conservative man. It's a progressive, very interesting take there. We got the conscious man versus unconscious man. A good back and forth we had on that. We also had the age gap double standard, right? So those were good ones. So if you missed it, go back, watch it, and then make sure you hit like on it, and you also hit subscribe on this one too. And if you like this video that you can see here, hit like as well, right? So let's jump into today. So we have Zion drama. We have the NCAA has a hot girl problem, right? We're hearing that. And then there's that video that came out of a trans man who came out with the video talking about how he didn't realize how hard it was to be a man, right? Before he transitioned. We're going to talk about Joe Biden and his age a little bit. What do we think about it? Is he getting up there where it's getting a little uncomfortable? So we'll talk about that. The Oscars have a new requirement, right? To meet the standards of being in the award, right? You need to have certain number of people in underrepresented groups to be in there. So we'll talk about that. And then, we should probably end it with we'll end it on a little bit of a surprise.
A little game.
Yeah, a little game. So we'll get to that.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Or just fast forward to the end.
So what do we have first? Zion drama. All right. Well, obviously I'm coming to Rob since he's our black guy, right, Rob?
Our token black guy.
I see how
You play basketball, right?
right?
You rap too, right?
Yeah, rap.
You're like our Stanley from The Office.
Oh, come on! Secret weapon, right?
Hopefully get a shoe deal, all this.
So Zion, this guy is
Baby mama drama.
baby mom drama. So what
Shooting
is?
the club up, man, everywhere.
Yeah, he
Call him
definitely
shooter
shoots
from
it
here.
up.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was known for shooting. Right? I thought he was more of a dunker.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
shooting them out there. So
Well, we can say he's known for slamming.
slamming, yeah, for sure. So I guess so. Let me see if I get this off the top of my head here. I think he is with a lady now who is pregnant, and he's with her, but he has a side girl who's a star, right?
Mhm.
A corn star, right?
I think we can say it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Star, right?
X-rated star.
X-rated star, right? I thought YouTube you couldn't say that, but whatever.
Bleep it out.
All right, but yeah. So we have, and I guess he was talking to her about moving her down to New Orleans, I think, right? New Orleans, and then there's she leaked text messages out because she was mad about it. And he's talking about how he's excited to see her and like how much money he needs to give her a month. And so
Doesn't have a girlfriend.
doesn't have a girlfriend. You can see a little bit simpish action going on there, but if you have the money, hey, strike the name, you got it, right? But anyways, so she goes on a rant. This lady, what's her name again? You have it up?
I don't have it up, but we can pull it up.
Yeah, we'll pull it up real quick. But so she's out there outing him out on and airing out a bunch of text messages just about him, going at his baby mama, and then she just allegedly mentioned that she has a sex tape of him and she's about to drop it, and she's telling the Pelicans, attacking the Pelicans to trade him.
Yo, man, just wait. Zion's going to have a reality show here soon.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, Zion's not even playing basketball anymore. He needs he might need a second career now.
Yeah,
anyways.
he needs some income again. Pay for those babies.
Yeah, so he's out there doing that, and I think there's a third girl who might have came out of the woodwork, right, Rob? Is that correct, right? I think you mentioned. So, he's getting a little sloppy out there, right?
Wow. I just think it's funny that she's like tagging the NBA and the New Orleans Pelicans and all this stuff, calling him out. It's just because like back in the day, I remember Karl Malone. He had like 19 kids and called them all Carl, Carla, Carly, something. Super narcissistic. So like this isn't new for basketball players or in the NBA to have multiple baby mamas.
Yeah.
So I just think it's funny the way, like, why is this more like a hot topic?
Social media.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is that it's now social media, and it's kind of more of also, I think she's also getting some, some status a little bit about this too, getting it out there and
she's getting followers now,
and stuff like that by putting stuff out there. I just think that, yeah, I mean, the guy lied to you and he's doing that dirty shit, right? But I mean, to keep going at him for that and tagging on that, the Falcons, they're not going to trade him just for that stuff. Like you mentioned, like that shit goes on all the time, right?
Yeah.
So the NBA's not, dude, the front office people are doing the same thing.
Well, like, if she really cared, though, like she wants them traded?
Yeah, she's talking about he used to be traded or robbed or something, right? Something like that, right?
She just wants something bad to happen to him.
That's awful. That's an awful look, man.
She's down bad. So I think you can see from the reaction that she's hurt right now, rightly so. But I mean, oh man, again, once you start dealing in that kind of circle, you kind of got to understand kind of like this stuff's gonna happen, right?
What happens if it's not his kid? And she did all that shit, called him out, called out the team, tagged his team on Twitter.
Mari right now come out. You are not the father.
Even with the screenshots. No, that's not. We're not saying he's in the right.
Time out. This girl's not pregnant. I know she claimed she might be late, but I don't think she ever said she's pregnant. Was she? No. Oh damn. So he could possibly have 3.
I thought she did say she was late. Like
she said she was late, but she never followed up on it. So right? Is she?
She's just causing drama.
That's what I'm saying. I think she's just throwing stuff through there, right? And then again, you go with like, is it his kid and all that stuff, then right at that point. Crazy. I don't know, man. That stuff's kind of like you said, it's just a messy business out there right now. Zion, what are you doing? Wrap your game up a little better there.
Didn't in college he get into some sort of issue before he joined the NBA?
Yeah, I just about to say that. He's like opposing teams, some girl on the opposing teams like on campus there. He was like stimping on her pretty hard and like
hit her up on Snap or something like that.
I think there was something that I think he did. He just randomly hits up like I think he kind of does the Future thing. I think Future hits up just random girls, not even like the top of top. Like he'll hit up like random girls.
Is this gonna be one of those like the Deshaun Watson things where it's like it's 3 girls, oh now it's 7 girls, oh now it's 42 girls. Or instead of massage therapist, it's just
Well, the thing about Zion is I don't think he did anything like physically wrong or something like that. I think he might have lied, right? And he probably was, running through girls. Looks like he's been doing right. But it'll be interesting. Like I said, the worst. It's an NBA team. If like, let's say 4 girls come out, like they're all pregnant with this baby. Is the NBA going to be like, well, we need to cut this guy? Like,
not at all. Yeah.
But like Deshaun Watson is a different story, right? It's kind of like
sexual misconduct for sure. Yeah.
So I think it's that's different.
He's still playing, so nothing's going to happen to Zion.
Yeah. But Zion is not going to play because of Zion.
Not because of her. Yeah, you're right.
But I do have the screenshot that supposedly that Akima, who is the ex corn star, that came out and said that she allegedly is pregnant and stuff like that.
So you're gonna say corn star, but you made me say
star. Fucking Snap the Party podcast.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and so after the announcements of him and his girlfriend, fiance, I don't know the clever things like that, became pregnant, that's when this star came out there immediately and posted screenshots of what the conversation was between her and Zion. So the first screenshot that she exposed.
Hold on. First off, if you're gonna read this, and you got to do Zion's voice and then her voice. So we understand.
Right? Please. Give me your best Zion.
Well, funny thing is, like you only see his text, you don't see her text. Ooh. And number one, funny thing is, which is pretty scandalous a little bit like that, is they were talking on Snapchat. So if you know Snapchat, you take a screenshot on your phone of it, that other person gets that notification.
Yeah.
So what she
did,
she bought out a second phone to to take a screenshot of
Oh.
that, and so that's how she was able to get these conversations out. So
you know what I was
She's
imagining?
smart.
I was imagining when you were saying that, like Zion seeing his phone and just all of a sudden getting notifications, screenshot him panicking, like, oh shit, something's going down. So because this dude wrote his name on it.
Yep.
It says Zion Willamson too, right? He didn't even try to hide his name.
he doesn't have his picture on there, so it could be another Zion.
Could be a
That's
Zion.
true,
That's
that's
true.
Could be another Zion,
But
but
technically, that could he just deny it? Be like, that's not my Snapchat.
No.
You know, like
That's true.
Anybody could be Zion Williamson. Right?
yeah, it could be some random person with that name that's supposedly Zion.
Oh man, what happens if
They
like
did hook up.
what
so.
happened if they ever did hook up? And it was just like she just had like another phone, like that second phone you mentioned, and she just texting from a Zion Williamson account.
Oh, she just sending it to herself.
And sending it to
basically?
herself and
Wow.
putting this guy on blast, now ruining shit.
Yo, guys, this is how we get more subscribers to this podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
A burner account.
Burner
We need a burner account.
Yeah.
You need that KD burner, right?
Two burner accounts. One talking shit about us, and another one.
Just make sure we switch it, right?
Yeah.
That's like a
But the first screenshot that she exposed, that Zion said, is when you move, how much do you expect me to pay you a month? But I'm super excited.
Yeah.
So that was one of the texts. We don't know if this was, pretty sure this was before, the whole announcement.
Yeah.
and
So he was trying to get her to move to New Orleans.
That's what she's saying. Like, and that's what the text, that the snap she showed that, like what Rob said, like, I'm excited for you to move here. How much do I have to give you a month?
So basically indicating that they did have some sort of relation back and forth between the two. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the second text that leaked out, it said, bet, I don't have a girlfriend, but if I move you to New Orleans, would you be cool with be like my official? And it's blacked out. I don't know what it says over there, but whatever is after official blacked out, it says just asking so I know how to go about the situation with respect. So is he saying that, hey, if I did knock you up and I put you on my payroll, how do we go about this in a legit way?
That's cool. So he's trying to do the right thing.
Trying to do the right thing.
He's
We don't know the full conversation or the context behind it, but those are two of the things that we leaked out. I'm really curious what she responded or what the full conversation is.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, we're never gonna see that because if you're Zion Williamson or you're Zion's PR person, you're telling me that
You don't respond. Yeah,
you
you
don't
just.
respond. So we're never gonna get the bottom of that. It's just gonna be her side pretty much out there then.
Yeah. But supposedly they were, going at it multiple times, no rubber or anything like that.
Zion, dirty boy,
and a star. I don't know. Low end one. I'm assuming.
A low end one.
Well, I think she is saying,
fans maybe.
yeah, I think but she was, I think, mocking his baby mama, who she was, because she was low end.
Yeah.
She said that she was low end, or that you left me, or you're not coming with me to be with this one who's a low end, like court star.
I fucked so many more guys than you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So is this his fault, or do you think he's a target?
I mean, the thing is, like, I think a lot of people, and I think we all could kind of jump out, like, what the hell are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Because he has kind of a track record. Because that the stuff that happened when he was at Duke, like, there's video of him sitting there, and you see him like laying on the bed and simping on that girl, right? So it's kind of like, oh shit, the president's there. But again, that could make him an easy target then for something like this, right?
He's a young kid, teenager, #1 draft pick coming out of college, high level, gets first contract, huge contract, and things like that. So is he mature enough to know?
Well, that goes back to exactly. I think a lot of them. I mean, that goes on to the thing about, are they targeted, right? Are these athletes targeted? Can you say targeted? I mean, because like
Brittany Brown.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Brittany, right? We got Brittany there, who they're saying she was scoping out PJ, right? PJ, she was with PJ, was it? Like scoping him out when he was at Kentucky. Was she kind of a predator
at the games?
At the games, kind of trying to be with him and stuff like that. So it's just kind of weird because I think there's like that's just because if it's the other way around, if it's a guy doing that, like let's say it's a guy who's 28 or 29 or 30, right, and he's going around with a girl who's like a top something in some sport, right? And she just, he's all like, going to the games, trying to thirst trap, trying to grab her or whatever like that. People will probably think, oh, he's probably grooming her or some shit like that, or calling him.
Unless he's famous,
Unless
he's
he's
gonna get
famous,
no play. If he's just a random Joe,
that's true.
Stalking or trying to spit game at him, and she's some famous person.
Well, no, I'm saying he would have to be famous. Yeah, he'd have to have some clout to get it, right?
First person I could think of is Drake.
Yeah.
And was Millie Brown. Some controversy behind that, and a few other artists when it comes to Drake. Ice Spice.
Yeah.
just to name a few. A lot of people say that he talks to younger girls.
Yep. Yeah, they're saying he's the same way, kind of like women vibes. They're saying, right?
But
October's
what's the
finest,
play
though.
on this though for this lady? Why go via social media? Why not just get a lawyer and file a action for a paternity test? And
The question
I don't
is
know.
she? But the thing is, maybe she's not pregnant. She's not getting anything out of this. I don't know. Maybe she, she said she's late. We don't know if she's actually pregnant, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was the part that she's a side chick and she didn't get that claim to fame that hey, he's mine.
Mm.
I got knocked up. He's mine. He didn't make that announcement for us.
Because exactly, bro. Because that text got leaked out after he made a video with his baby mama saying, "Hey, talking to the kid, like, love you. We don't know what the future holds, but we're so happy to have you." It's like announcement, right? Basically, this is my girl. We've got a baby coming. And I think that's what triggered.
Oh snap!
And she's out for blood.
Sounds like it. Dang, Zion.
Yeah.
Well,
good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Luckily, he has millions of dollars to rest his head on.
And a nice Jordan contract.
Yeah.
Shoes, so
he just honestly needs to, get healthy so he can get that second contract because that all this is true and there's both of them, 2, possibly 3 kids, stuff like that. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but the thing is, Zion's gonna get a second contract no matter what, just because he was such a high pick, and some teams
somebody's gonna
we can get him in shape, we can make him what he's supposed to be, right? And it's honestly. It's interesting. It's kind of a little bit like Ben Simmons, a little bit, where they just both aren't really putting the work on the court, and they're getting more famous off of what's off the court, which is never good. Player, right?
That's true. That's a really good sign.
If you're a bad player, you want to get that clout outside the court. Get a Kardashian.
I was just thinking, who was that dude? What was his name again?
Like her sons,
her first husband or whatever.
Who? Kim's?
Yeah, Kim Kardashian.
Chris for like a month.
Yeah.
I think he's half black, half white.
Something like that.
Dude, imagine though if like this stuff came out back in the day for like a player like John Stockton. That would be so much more entertaining than this. Because Zion had this history back in college, so it's kind of like history's repeating itself. But it's super cool to have it be like a player that was like, oh my god, I can't believe it.
One.
Yeah.
But I mean, it kind of sucks though. So sometimes getting having his stuff out there, being called out for something. Because there's a lot of stuff like now with social media, you can get called out and it's out there, right? And there's a lot of stuff like in our day, stuff that we've done where we're just glad there wasn't social media for that.
And you almost can't defend yourself because even if you try to defend yourself, whether maybe you shouldn't because lawyers want you not to, or just make yourself even worse looking.
That's what I'm saying. PR is going to be like, not say anything. Never happened.
Just take that hit.
Yeah, take that hit. So
it's gonna hurt.
All right, well, Zion,
good luck, buddy.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You have money. So, next one. All right. Speaking of money, NCAA and their hot girl problem right there, right?
Yeah, wait, so explain this to me because I never heard about this until today.
Hot girl summer?
Hot girl summer.
So the NIL.
So with NIL now, the name, image, and likeness, players are getting paid now, right? Men and women, everybody's getting paid, right? Their money. So what the trend you see, especially in men's sport, you're going to see the top athletes get the most money, right? Hey, the best running back is going to get the most money out of the running backs. Best quarterback's going to get, no matter how they look, act, or whatever, they're the top. The teams want them. They can help them win. Here's the money, right? Here's the check, right? Women's sports is looking like the opposite way. The top isn't getting all the money. It's the ones that are like the best looking are getting the money.
Interesting.
So they're showing that the money is funneled to, the women that are better looking than that play the best. That are not the best of their game, but they're just like the two that come to mind are the Kavinder twins, like the two blonde women, sisters. They were at Fresno State. They transferred to Miami University. They have a really big Instagram following and stuff like that. One averaged 5 points a game, the other one averaged 12 points a game or something like that. And so their future wasn't the WNBA or whatnot. So, but they made the most money with, I think, Olivia Dunn or whatever, the gymnast from LSU, right? I don't know. How good is Olivia Dunn? Is she good though?
I'm the wrong person to answer. I don't follow any of them, but I know of their names.
Yeah, I just know especially the Kavinder twins. They're the example that I heard, right? They're getting a lot of money, but they're not the best players in the
But I guess that's okay, right? Because it's name, image, likeness. It's not
So that
skill level
this is
and whatnot,
okay,
right?
so this is where it's gonna go. It's like name, image, and likeness is pretty much what's gonna sell your if you
Yeah.
have somebody, what's gonna sell your product, right? Is it gonna be for if you bring in like a guy, like if somebody's gonna buy like this product, if they see like the best quarterback and that actually is the best quarterback regardless of how they look,
Yeah.
is sponsoring this, that's going to hold more credibility than like the best looking
Because
college
you're going to
football
win, it's
player.
going to bring a lot of money to your university.
Exactly, right? So yes, exactly, right? So but when it comes to like for the other side of it, it's like a lot of advertisements just in general are just like women's beauty sells, right? It sells a lot of products. And I think that's what you're seeing when they're putting money that way. That they're putting beauty ahead of that, right? And while I mean I understand a lot of people saying that it's unfair, like just because hey I'm the best, but I'm not giving the most money, right? But I mean it's the market dictates what you are, right?
Yeah. Are you at the point of signing this person to come to your school for an NIL deal, or are you wanting them to come to your school on a scholarship level so that they can your team and the school can actually compete for a championship? Because it seems like nowadays NIL is even more important than scholarships, even though they kind of go hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm curious too because like you mentioned, they had previously had really big Instagram followers, right?
That's where it
So
comes from.
that's like that's their product. They own that. They own those followers, right? But so I can see why it makes sense, like in male sports, which it's all about winning.
Well,
right?
who's gonna have the most followers? The best quarterback or the best looking guy? Who's gonna have the most followers?
Girl?
No. I'm talking if you're looking at guys, since it's men. Do you think the guy who's like the best looking man that plays football is gonna have the most followers, or like the Heisman Trophy winners?
Heisman Trophy,
exactly, right?
Yeah,
that's
and so like in women's sports,
yep.
just in general, sadly they don't bring in as much revenue. They don't have as many spectators, so it makes sense that they're going off of well, who's the most beautiful that has following that we can help make money off of, so we can pay them for this. And we're just about filling seats. It's not about
is this fair?
Games.
Ask me, is this fair? Because I think there's a suggestion. I don't know if they're trying to do this or looking at this, but they're saying that they should whatever money it pool, they should pool it in and divide it like out kind of equally.
Equally between the school sports.
The players, I think on the women's side or something like that. Do you think it's fair if like this person's bringing this much money, but then you're like, you got to take that money now and put it.
I have a question. So if I'm these twins and I have this following, I can now I can make money on the side, right? So I can do endorsement deals and make my own money, right?
Yeah.
So then, okay, that makes sense because if I bring in all these followers to this program, I'm promoting the program, I want to be able to make money that I earn through my followers. But if I'm then coming and joining the team, then I would feel like there's opportunity that things should be divided up evenly based off performance, something along those lines.
I think funny is when it comes to sports and college sports specifically is that when it comes to like subsidizing, the men's and women's college sports is a lot of the football programs, especially the bigger name schools, since they are bringing in enough money, they are having to subsidize the money that they get to pay for the other sports like women's basketball or women's softball.
Well, the football covers pretty much sports for men and women at college level outside of basketball. I think basketball usually will break even. But football covers all of your other men's sports and all of your women's sports.
Cross, softball, golf, and things like that. And so that has a bigger impact on, what you bring in. And so it makes more sense in that aspect to bring in great athletes so that you can have that revenue to be able to, have better stadium, be able to expand on the program in general.
Well, I mean, again, I think the ultimate thing is that what's going to bring you the most attention to school. So, it's going to be championships.
Well, I don't know, man. It should be because, like, sadly, so sad that this is the case, but I feel like when women, like WSU when I was there, women won some championship. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't like that big of a deal. Soccer. Really good soccer. Yeah, and so it was nobody went to the games. It was just like, oh, cool, the women are swimming or something something along those lines.
Volleyball's pretty good.
Volleyball, maybe,
But dude, no, but the trend is, and I think what's you're gonna see going forward is, especially with women's basketball, it was really highly rated this time around, and there was a lot of people following it, and you saw some more exciting basketball, more 3-point shooting and stuff like that. You're seeing some people go at it, and I think you see some potential for that to grow. So I think that's one sport. I think that you'll see them probably catch up more in that, and maybe that carries on to the WNBA. But I know their NCAA that was huge, man. Everybody was talking about it. You had the Clark from Iowa, right? That she was really good. Then you had LSU. Reese.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? And then you had her there. And then now you had the local girl that was up here, Haley, who played at Louisville. Remember, she got in those. She went off for Louisville, and then Clark eliminated her. Then now she's actually left Louisville. Right. She transferred to LSU now.
Oh, wow.
So now Clark is good. And then they show Clark's releasing videos of her just practicing, getting ready for the next season. It's kind of hyping it up a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's good for the sport.
Yeah, it is. And I remember when WSU, when the NIL came out, they were the first universities, or one of the first that came out and put together programs to actually help their athletes develop their social media and their image, and because a lot of the time, you dedicate yourself to a sport, you don't have a background in social media and how to gain followers and stuff. And so I think it's important for schools to be successful in this. If I, like what you were saying, I would go after the most talented pool and give them the money and then help them build up their following and whatnot.
Yeah, but this is the thing though, man. This is a different age like that. If you can have them sign a 4-year deal, my thing is you can give them the money. They're like, oh, I'm going to Florida next year. They're offering me even more money now. Yeah. That's the problem now. That's not even just women's sports, men and women's sports.
It's all about money, not about your actual commitment.
Yeah. So
is that okay though? Because
I think you should honor your contract.
But is the contract 1 year or is it 4 years? Are they giving them money thinking it's 4? Because if so, they should have that.
I think
if I'm giving money to somebody, and investors, right? This is basically investing. So you do your due diligence.
It was kind of the wild, wild west out there, especially at the beginning. When you've seen a couple of these crazy contracts come out, and then you see them fall through, and the player leaves that school to a different school. And you're seeing some of the writing wasn't really there, they didn't have it fully fleshed out. You're hearing these big numbers, maybe $500,000, but then you're hearing oh, he's just $500,000, but it's $500,000 over 4 years, right? So it's still a lot of money, but still less, right?
College.
Yeah, exactly, right? But wish we had that much money in college. All right, but
especially
dirty bombs all the time.
Buy out mics. Exactly. But what I say is, so you're now you're gonna see now going forward, you're gonna start seeing people pull out of the market a little bit because they're not gonna get the ROI as well. So it's gonna be interesting because I think you saw a flood of money come in. People are excited. We can buy a championship. Now you're gonna see more anyways. But what I was gonna say is
the pendulum. It went way this way. Now it's gonna come back here, and eventually it's gonna kind of come.
It's gonna even out. It's gonna level out there, right? And then,
rules and regulations get involved.
Well, and I think that's kind of where we're at. Where there's gonna need to be rules and regulations out there. So I think that'll be interesting. But going back to the main question, do you find it a problem that the most beautiful women are getting all the money versus the best players in women's sports?
I guess there's so many bigger problems going on right here. I don't think this is the problem. I think every school is figuring out what's going to work for them, and they have, just like GMs in football, right? They got to figure out the formula. They're all trying to figure out how does this impact their university and how do they fill seats, right?
On long term.
In the long, So I think it might be
dodging that question pretty good. Like
the Matrix.
He's like, well, that's not the question we should be answering.
Did he just
no kung fu?
Yeah, no kung fu. But what do you think?
I think it is a big problem. Not necessarily the fact that these hot women are able to bring in and get that amount of money just up front. I think it's just a problem at the schools level is the fact that you are bringing these people in, but they can leave at any point just so they go to the school and get more money out of it. There's
much bigger problems.
There's no ROI for the schools.
I think I think we can agree there's bigger problems than this, but for me, just to end on it, the market dictates who's getting the money. So I mean, whoever's spending the money wants to spend the money that way. I mean, unfortunately, that's how they're going to spend it.
So, even outside of NIL, if you're just talking about social media and stuff like that,
if
you're not even talking about NIL. It's like you're comparing to a beautiful woman or highly recruited, well thought out, successful athlete. Who do you think is going to have the most followers?
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Let's also one more thing we gotta mention here is there's a lot of simp men out there, and they will fund people like you said that do straight off the looks, right? I think Olivia Dunn had to have security because men will show up to her meets. She's the OnlyFans.
Filling out
Yeah,
seats.
filling out seats and like just waiting for her. Like you see these fratty guys running out there after her. Like she had to get security because they got way too close and shit like that.
Wow.
Even like during practices and stuff like that.
That's pretty crazy.
But anyways, God bless them, I guess. but hey,
waste your money, not mine.
yeah, waste your money, not mine. But, again, if that's what the market dictates, then they get it. Then let them have it. I'd say it's all good to that part. But I think, like we all mentioned, there's bigger problems with that, especially on the sports on that. So cool. All right.
Ooh, this next one's juicy.
Okay, so there's a video that went out there. Many of you probably already seen this, but we'll give our commentary on this. But there's a trans man who now there's a video of him talking about how he didn't realize how hard it was to be a man making friends, right? And the video is right here. Rob, you want to play the video for us here? And so it was born a biological woman
Yep.
and then transitioned to a man. So.
Being a man is. I had closer friendships with random women I met in the bathroom before I transitioned at clubs because of how open women are than I had in my 8 years of transitioning. Because women are just so much more vulnerable and deep than men. But to have known, and I think a lot of trans men feel this, is we knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us. And to have people want to talk to us. And have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build. And people are colder. And what's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men. Because this shit is lonely. And I'm an emotionally mature man. I know how to build friendships, and it is still really, really hard. Try to think about how you can, in your small little community where you feel safe, can reach out to the men in your life and just help them feel maybe seen for a moment. Or do little conversations to help their emotional maturity so that they can reach out to people and have deeper guy friendships.
There we go with the video right there. It looks like, as we all watched it, what were your thoughts on it, guys?
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, so in the video, he described that it was an 8-year transition from him being a biological female turning becoming a male and things like that. And so I can definitely see his perspectives on some of the things that he's experienced when it comes to men and some of the things that current men go through. I think it's not necessarily talked about in public because it's one of the things that if you're a man, you should be able to deal with it and suck
Rub
it
some
up.
dirt on it, boy.
Rub some dirt, suck it up.
Walk
You're
it
a man.
off. Walk it off.
It is what it is, but at the same time, it's like he's talking about the emotional side of things that and explaining to everybody that it is actually harder than people think. Like you can't always just suck it up when it comes to expressing what you think or what your thoughts and concerns on whatever you're feeling.
I really loved this video because in a way it kind of felt validating as a man to have somebody that was previously a female who's now is a man to be like, yeah, you guys, it is fucking hard and lonely being a man because of the way in which we have to be in this society.
The one thing, I agree with you 100% on that part, but what part I just didn't like there is when he's saying the other part that is valid. I think this too, like kind of tiptoeing the line. I feel like, hey, if you're gonna make a video like this, just be raw and be about that. You don't have to say the other part. We all understand that exists, and I think just keep focus on this. Like I feel like that was him teetering the line or not being canceled or being kind of shunned a little bit.
My only part here where I have some pause is like shout out to this guy for coming out and saying this. Like I'll never know what it's like to be a trans man, and I can only guess that would come with a whole bunch of additional hardships and be an even lonelier place than it is to be a man. So I think that he's probably coming at this amplified, but I think this is great because this is the kind of conversations we should have where we're talking to people. They see 3 men, and I'm going to admit, hell yeah, it's lonely being a guy. especially in this time of this age in which we're at too, where people start having families and you get more and more disconnected from your friends. You get less and less, with work and things. Now you get more and more disconnected from your family, and then you're supposed to be the strong person. And I'm 6'4", and oftentimes in relationships, I'm like, or with my kids even, I'm like, just because I'm grown up, I'm a man, I'm an adult, I'm bigger than you, doesn't mean that I don't have the same feelings that I had when I was your age. Like, those things are still inside me, and I still feel all those. I just have learned how to not let things bother me as much. But it doesn't mean that they don't. So I love that they came out and said this and gave validation to us. But yeah, I think what I hope we can concentrate on this is that we are men and we do feel lonely, we do hurt, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I think this was actually a great video. Like hearing his perspective on stuff like that. Like, he's coming from a very unique perspective, so I think that's very interesting to see. And I think for him, like he mentioned, he mentioned 8 years for transition, right? That's what he said. So, how old do you think he is? Probably.
He looks late 20s.
Late 20s.
Yeah,
I'd say at least 28.
I'd say maybe max 30.
30, right? 30 something, right? But my thing is, especially for guys, I think a lot of guys who make meaningful friendships come at that earlier age where, unfortunately, he skipped out on that.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Right? For us, as you get older as a guy, it's harder to make just new friends like that. You're gonna be like you're tied to your whenever you're growing up, your high school buddies, like our think about our group of friends that we talk about, right? When we were in high school, college, right? Like that's kind of stuff and you develop it over a different way, right? You don't. I think men a lot of time we bond over like maybe playing sports, and we get together and other stuff, right? And like he mentioned with women, he said he got close to women just in bathrooms, right? That's how open they were, right? So it's a little different. I feel like he's coming in at a later stage, and on top of that, he's coming in knowing what deeper connection already means, and not having that right off the bat probably hurts even more, I would say, right?
Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from, but like, for example, like, where do we make friends nowadays? Like, maybe at work, maybe at the gym, whatever. So I think his point is like, men aren't open and vulnerable enough to have those deep connections, because you can still have those. You don't need to have a childhood of experiences or a college worth of experiences. You should be able to do that and connect with other men on a deep, vulnerable level quickly. Like, why not do it? When you go do pickup ball, like, you should be able to do that and whatnot.
I still
but
think,
it's it's like, oh, who is this emo guy over here complaining about being a dad or the hardships of being a fatherhood, you know?
Yeah, no, I think it was like, the other point I like is just how he's talking about, that with men, he's talking about reaching out to men in your life. I think that's very positive because, like I said, there is a crisis with young men, especially today, and you hear about suicide rates and stuff like that, and it's just not being talked about. I think the Surgeon General actually came out saying that is a crisis now, finally. But I think it's great to get this kind of topics out there. And I think coming from a trans man like him, I think that's actually pretty big, right? Because you're gonna get both perspectives from where he's coming from. So overall, I thought it was a great video about it. You can definitely see he feels it, right? Through the video, pretty raw, I thought, and he's very.
I think, but I don't want to move on from that because I think it's beautiful, and I think a lot of people might be like, oh, well, he's crying because was biologically a woman and whatnot. And I think that we need to normalize men crying as being okay. Because, like, what's wrong with feeling human emotion? Like, this is raw, this is beautiful, this is authentic. Those are the things you want when you're creating friendships with people and stuff, right? Like, we need to be able to accept this as the new norm rather than look at it. And, like, I'm curious, what are some of the comments? Is anybody calling him out for being too emotional? Because he says he's emotionally intelligent. I would agree.
There's a lot of people calling him out and saying, "Oh, poor baby, crying like a girl, woman," like just all this other kind of stuff, like a lot of hate and a lot of that kind of stuff. You see all my comments. Somebody said that's what happens when you go from recruit level to veteran level in difficulty, like in a video game, right? Yeah. So I think so. Like, to your point though, I didn't want to move off of like normalizing it, right? Who holds the key to normalizing?
I think it's tough because it varies on the individuals, different personalities, the way they grew up and stuff like that. Because if you're an introverted person, you may not be that kind of person that if you go out in public, you're going to be a little hesitant to meet new people and take that initiative.
What group could make this change?
Men.
So you think if all guys just came together and be like, hey, we can let's all be more emotional and be out there, that it'll be fine. We'd all do it.
I think it's like Tupac says, we're teaching our babies how to do it, right? So we're making them more emotionally intelligent, and we're going to be active fathers, and we're going to teach them what is okay.
I think. Well,
it's going to take generations for this to change.
My thing is this: it's going to take men to do it, right? Like you said, but it's going to take women too. They have to be open to that, and they have to be okay with men being emotional. That's the problem. A lot of them.
I think they would.
I don't know. What do you think?
Women are so loving and nurturing by nature. I think
it depends on maybe how much of an emotional person you are, because if you're every day coming after work and crying and complaining about the way work was treating you every day, I think it's the point where they'll probably get sick and tired of it. Like,
that's what I'm gonna say. That's gonna be the we gotta find the happy line, because at the end of the day, a lot of times when a woman's with a man, she wants that security, right? To feel like she's protected that security. And if you're coming home, like you said, every day, crying, that's not attractive to a girl, right? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but there has to be, but I'm not saying, but what we're taking is an extreme, right? Like there has to be a balance. I think we all agree with that, right? And I think it has to be both men and women coming together, making sure that it is okay. Because I think, like I said, men alone, I don't think have the tools to do it. To make it okay. Because there's the other part.
That's right. That's what he said. We can't blame men when they don't have the tools. And so, I think we need to learn how to tap into our feminine side, learn how to know it's okay to be nurtured. I mean, one thing I'll say from my own experience, after my dad passed away, I was met with awesome love and support from females, and my loved ones, that I was so grateful for that. And so I think that's not the extreme, right? I'm not coming home every day crying, but there's times where I'll have an emotional breakdown, and it's
those should right now be fine. Yeah, if a girl doesn't want to be with you because you're crying because your parent passed away, she's not the one.
Yeah, she's not the one.
It's okay to cry when you have loved ones pass away, friends pass away. If you're watching a movie that's very emotional for you, it's okay to cry and get teary-eyed and stuff like that.
Or even if you had a bad day at work and your boss yelled at you and it was emotionally whatever, like that's okay too. Yeah. Because if your emotions are real, we should never shame a man or a woman or anybody for feeling something, because that's, in their shoes, 100% true and real and authentic. So
and it'll vary on the individual. Some people are able to take that and not consume it and hold it in and then have a outburst. Some people are able to brush it off like dirt.
Yep. Exactly. Like you said, the stuff we're saying, if we don't normalize them or whatever, like these suicide rates are going to keep going higher and higher.
Right? Well, especially now, because post-COVID, man, I think there's so much.
That's the other thing, right? Because the way he's talking about people are so distant, like men are so distant, trying to get along with whatever. That's people in general now. Yeah. I think that. So he's coming in an even harder era too, where everybody's just like COVID now. They're just like only on the phone. They don't want to be out, all that kind of stuff. Just and even if they're out now it's just they're awkward.
Oh man, I can tell you how many barbecues or things I went to with my kids, and you meet other adults, and it's this awkward, hey, so what do you do? What do you like? You want to come to a play date? And it's this is the most awkward play date ever, and I don't like that. I just want to be with my homies, you know? Exactly. It's really hard.
I feel you on that. I think just bottom line, I think we all, we agree with the video, we like his video, and we appreciate his video.
Yeah, much love to him, and thank you for, what's his name?
He goes by @the Trans Coach. I don't know his actual name.
Thank you, @the Trans Coach, for posting that vulnerable video, and for validating our feelings, because fucking awesome.
Yeah,
so
having an ally. That's great. So awesome. All right, cool. All right, next, what do we got here? I think
Joe Biden.
Got your boy there.
I guess let's talk about, not just to keep it politically equal. Let's talk about
we're not gonna
the two top front runners, Biden and Trump. Oldest.
My thing is, I wasn't trying to even go just debate the political side. I was just going to go by his age and is he really still the right guy for the Democrat Party? Keep it there. I wasn't going to go with.
Well, I just think it's bullshit that in politics in general we have all these old people, who is the senator, Democratic senator?
The old lady that pushes through.
That's she's so voters, stop voting for old people. We need youth, we need new blood, we need new ideas. We're going to get the same shit that we've been getting for all these decades if we keep voting for these people. Hell yeah, there's an age limit or minimum for 35 or right?
36,
35, 36. Right. Yeah, man, you shouldn't be past 70. What's the retirement age in America? That should be your cutoff.
That's the thing is if you can retire at 60, whatever it is, and
65,
65,
right?
probably gonna be 70 soon. But what I was gonna say is that, but then you have a president that's going into the 80s. It's kind of like that doesn't line up right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, or does anybody just I mean, I don't want to be like ageist on that stuff because there are some people who are at that age and they're still sharp and stuff like that. But we gotta look at just for the common good of everybody. What's more generally like the person gonna be at that age, right?
Yeah. Totally.
And what I was going with this is that with Joe, just like he's said his health. He's been falling a lot.
Dude, yeah.
I'm not comparing to many other candidates right now. Other candidates have the same problems. I think similar problems.
A few years younger, but way more overweight. So we're talking about health as an issue here. But
my thing is that Trump's not the president. Joe Biden.
Yeah, well, he was president, and he's running for president. So it's like our top two people that we're going to be running are Trump and Biden again, most likely.
That's the problem. That is the problem with where we are in America. Right? Why are those two our people? That's like horrible, right? But my thing was with Joe, like just some of the stuff he said is like building a railroad from the Pacific to like the Indian Ocean. That he said on the way out, he was like, "God save the Queen," and then it's like, "Bro, you were at the Queen's funeral," it was like some of the stuff. Then he's like, "Which way?"
Every other.
Which way? Which way?
Which way do you go?
And then that whole Eva Longoria was kind of creepy, like the whole "all right, hands off me" thing. It's like I don't know. I just feel like I like I said, I'm not saying vote Democrat or vote Republican. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about I think Joe needs to step aside for another Democrat.
But I guess you could say like, let's look at his performance. He's done a shit ton of stuff. So like, has that gotten in the way of his ability to perform? I would say no.
I mean, it's just a bad look on as a nation overall. You're the representative.
I think. But let's take a look at that. Those royal fluffs compared to Trump that wanted to nuclear bomb a hurricane. So George Bush, and he had literally every other thing he said was.
But we're not talking about Trump and whatever, right? We're not talking about that, right?
Well, my point being, like, Joe Biden is old and he's saying silly things. So did all the other presidents, and they were much younger. It's a hard, stressful job being a president. All we can look at is how has he done a good job in office? He's got a lot of shit done. He inherited a global pandemic. He averted a financial shutdown by. He had McCarthy wrapped around his finger and got exactly what he wanted. So he's kicking ass. He's doing good.
If you can't read the teleprompter and all of your speech is written for you, and you're going off the cuff and saying random ass stuff, and it's not a good look.
But Trump was doing the exact same thing. They were like, "Read that teleprompter. Don't go off." So it's not.
So my thing was like, if Trump comes into presidency, I'd have the same issue with him. I'd be like, "What the hell?
Too old.
Yeah, too old." And the stuff he says too is like, why are you saying like? I already had a problem with that. I just say that it's both ways. Biden had the same issue with that too. I just like, why do we have to have these old people in office like that? Why can't we get younger people? I think it's time to, build
pass the torch.
Yeah, torch. I just think the Democrat Party has like who would come up after Biden's gone. Like, who is the candidate that you have there? That would
Gavin Newsom should be their candidate.
Yeah, I think the trickiest part is
I don't know. Gavin Newsom has some problems. I think he would probably be their number one target, their number one person to do it. But I mean, I think he'd have a hard time going against Trump, to be honest.
I don't think so at all. That dude's a badass, man.
If you look at California,
the fourth largest economy in the world. Watch out, Germany. They just took them out of the way.
Yeah, but my thing is
that more patents, more entrepreneurship in that country.
For now, if you look at over time how much he's lost out of it under his leadership, you'll see that is trickling out. So my thing is, I'm not saying he would be bad, but I'm saying that I don't think he would be a slam dunk over Trump. I honestly think if you're gonna want to beat Trump, if Trump is a person, it's probably gonna be Joe Biden who's gonna be your guy. Who's probably gonna go against Trump.
I think Trump is just gonna lose again. He can never get over the certain.
That's the thing.
The threshold.
My thing is if
Trump is the front runner, anybody can win against Trump now, as long as it's not Hillary Clinton, because they had years, like multiple decades of them being able to bash the Clintons and get all this fear and whatnot.
I just think if the Democrats want to win, they need Trump to run, and they need it to go against Biden. I think that would be the Democrats' playbook to win it. I think he's old. I think Trump's old. I wish Trump would get on a stage and actually debate some of the other younger Republicans. I think he would get run around in circles.
You know who I saw come out on the town hall? Chris Christie.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, shit, this is like the one Republican I think that could knock Trump off, because He's literally calling out Trump for all the things that I wish Democrats would. They're calling him a loser, calling him out for like, yeah, you want to run your country like a business. Well, you just hired a businessman that has 4,000 lawsuits, and it's no wonder why he's getting indicted and impeached all the time because this is who he is. He's corrupt. So to have a Republican finally saying that, it shows him being the bully now to Trump and Trump.
Well, he's always said it though.
Yeah.
Christie, he worked for him for a little bit. Then I think as soon as he got fired, or he started just going in, right? So yeah, I think he's always been that guy, right? But I just don't think at this point, I don't see anybody stopping Trump from winning. So I think if I'm the Democrats, I would keep Joe Biden as the guy, push him.
What's sad though, because I don't think that's what Democrats actually want in terms of voters. This is what the Democrat establishment wants.
No, but I think it goes back to this is if the Democrats themselves the base, like you said, they probably want to have a Newsom or somebody else. But if they want to win the whole votes, Newsom's not going to reach over to Republicans' side. Republicans not going to vote for him. Joe Biden, they're probably,
he doesn't need Republicans though. He needs independent voters to do it.
Yeah, independent voters. But I think some of those would be a little more. I think a lot of them would still lean heavily toward Joe Biden and see Joe Biden as well. Okay, we can still roll with this for another. Instead of Trump, I'd rather go with Joe Biden still.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because when Biden ran 4 years ago, it was age was a thing, and they were all saying, "Oh, if you vote for Biden, then you're voting for Kamala Harris to be president," and all those conspiracy theories. So that's only going to be perpetuated. It's going to be a bigger issue, and it will probably lose votes for Biden. Actually.
No, but if Biden
won some of those states by like a few thousand votes, so there's not a lot you got to do to knock Biden out of the presidency.
No. But my thing is, that Biden. I'm not saying Biden would probably lose to any other Republican. I think he might have a chance to lose.
Agreed.
That's what I'm saying.
Agreed.
My thing is that if you want to win the Democrats, you're going to need a rematch. I think.
I see what you're saying, but I don't feel safe if Trump has 2 indictments and 2 other indictments about to come. He's starting to slip in polls now. I could see him not being the front runner. Like, dude,
I just wish we could just have both of them gone and just have start fresh. Start fresh. Have like real debates and like I don't know, like better, man.
Let's start it here, guys. Let's get money out of politics because once that's gone, there's no lobbyists. There's none of that. It's a level playing field. We go back to
let's go off of what you've done.
Having debates on actual issues and topics.
What you
have a standardized platform of what their beliefs are, so there's no question about who's doing what they believe.
How many of those people are just sitting there, especially like the Senate and Congress, like just sitting there milking it, haven't done anything, haven't passed anything?
All of them.
Yeah.
It's all about just getting a job and keeping it and creating just shit to fight over.
It's that status.
Nothing's happening for us.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I just feel like
revolution.
But isn't that what like America they're missing? They're saying like they're like getting caught with this flashy Trump this, Biden this, and they're kind of getting into that mode. It's like, dude, like step back, think about what they're doing. This whole thing is shit. You need to figure out how to change it. Say
America is not first. There was that video out there of the guy from Dumb and Dumber. What's his name? Not Jim Carrey, the other one. But Harry something. Yeah. But there's like this clip of him where he's like, "America is not first. Like we're like 40-second in education. We're like 90-second in health. Yeah, many years ago. And it's like, dude, the fact that somehow we have all these like a war on woke. Why are we talking about that? Get us all universal health care because every other first world country has it. What the hell? It's cheaper too. Yeah, because he had pharma lobbyists paying for his election bid, right? So, dude, get money out of politics and all this.
Well, I think the big ones you got, like I said, big pharma. Like I think United States and New Zealand are the only countries that allow pharma to actually advertise on TV. Everywhere else doesn't.
Oh, well, the fucked up thing about pharma too is that oftentimes it's the government funding the research that then they take it and then they monopolize it and then make money. Dude, it's so fucked up. That should be our taxpayer dollars are paying for that. That should be free medicine for us.
All right. Well, anyways, I think we just go. Yeah. So I think on this one, everybody's old. Let's get you.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. Cool. All right. Next one. All right. Oscar requirements. Okay. So, Rob, you have the background on this one here?
Yeah. And so this initiative started back in 2022 and 2023. But one of the things that they wanted to initiate was coming up with a they call it Academy Inclusion Standards, to where certain films that release have to meet certain criteria. And so, beginning in 2024, for the 96th Oscar, a film submitting for Best Picture will need to meet the inclusion thresholds of 2 of the 4 standards.
It doesn't have to be all of these.
No, just
that's
have all
what
these.
it
So
is.
that
That's what
you
it
hit one of those 3.
So I'm
that
like,
counts for
okay,
one.
what if it's a movie about like Viking men or something like that? Like you're screwed.
Yep. So that's 1A, or I guess you can say one of those 3s. And B, to achieve the standard B film, it must meet one of these criteria below. At least 2 of the following creative leadership position and department heads: casting director, cinematographer, composer, costume designers, things like that. People that work in the background has to have underrepresented groups. Same criteria. Women, blah blah blah.
So if you had like, let's say, all white cast, right? To say, but then all your background is like Asian, trans, whatever. Would you qualify then?
Yes.
Or do you need to have each kind of one thing?
So I would. To the way I read it is, for leading supporting roles, those 3 you have to meet one of those criteria. For the background technical roles, you also have to meet one of those criteria. And then the C group they talk about is internship and apprentices. Same sort of concept. You're gonna categorize if you're gonna meet one of those criteria. Those interns or apprentices must meet those same criteria. And then there's represent D when it comes to marketing, publicity, and distribution.
Okay. So basically, it's like here's the 4 components of how you make a movie.
Exactly.
In these, you got to make sure that there's
actors,
represented.
background,
The one caveat I would really love to add to that list is if you do have somebody from an underrepresented thing, like it cannot be a stereotype role. I do not want that. I think that needs to be in there. Like you can't just ask the person for this because you're that person. You read that role like that. Like have them have like a certain group not be portrayed a certain way. Right? I would hope that would be in there. Right? That it's very complicated.
But yeah, I don't know because what if they're doing a thing about trying to?
I'm saying one of the things.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you get all of them.
I think in general this is good because this is like a workplace, right? Just because it's Hollywood doesn't mean this is like a place where people go and make their income and their livelihood, right? So there needs to be representation and there needs to be an opportunity for all people to be able to have an opportunity to get involved. Because so much what I hear too, we should get Boomer on. Our buddy Boomer, he's messes around and does stuff in LA. But it's so much about connections. So I could see how it's very easy to just know who's going to be in there and who the assistants are and just cherry pick who you want. And they could leave a whole bunch of people outside of that circle and just not on opportunity.
I think that kind of leads into exactly this is the connection point of it, right? My thing is then if you go to like Hollywood has to be like that, where do you stop? Does everything have to be represented? Do you have to go to sports now? Do you go to the NBA and be like, hey, a certain amount of you guys have to come from China, right? Or a certain amount of you guys have to come from Mexico now. Like,
well, I mean, they're kind of do like NFL, like coaching, right? Coaching
players,
you gotta.
Players.
Yeah, well, I think players is a little bit different because like
that's players wouldn't be like actors.
I don't think so.
You think you get the best actors?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think more so like the players would be more so related to like the production staff and whatnot, right? Like you can't just go and find. You're not going to replace what's his name or any of like the top NBA like Michael Jordan with me, right? To get better representation. So no, that's different. That's about elite. Right, this is making movies. You can make whatever. So it's about, and I think it's important too, just because so much of it has been dominated by white men, and so it's important that in America, children get to see representation of what they look like.
Well, see, but that's where I go. That's where I go off of where you. I like the whole idea of it because it's not you have to hit every single one of these. Just got to hit some of these, like two or three, right? And I think. And again, if you don't hit it, you just don't get up. You can still make the movie. You're just not going to be getting an award for it. So I mean, that's up to your choice, though. Like it's your choice. But my thing is, like you said, it's important for people to see you get represented, like children and stuff like that. You know what I think? But the problem is, you can't. I don't want you also be represented in the stereotype that you want to be not allowed of. That's all you're casting.
I see what you're saying. That's for sure. Yeah.
And then that's all you're seeing in society. That's supposed to be portrayed. And I
Yeah.
think that's harmful.
Yes, and then one of the things they do call out is those criteria we must meet throughout the 4. Those are specifically for Best Picture. When it comes to documentaries, animation, and things like that, they have their own separate categories.
Oh, interesting.
I think they're just there's a lot of crying about it. Oh well, and this movie wouldn't have won in 1995 or like that. Then it's kind of like, 1995 was totally different. You know, that's like you have these rules now going forward, right? It's totally different. Right? It's like
So it's just leveling the playing field for everybody. Everybody knows what to do if they want to win. If that movie 95 knew this, they probably would have adjusted it.
Yeah, but is it then just becoming checklist? Like, all right, in order to get Best Picture, we just have to have this person be,
well, no, because you still got to have the Best Picture. You still got to have the artistic, the storyline, all that kind of stuff.
Only 4 people, so you can still have,
You think
white actors or black actors, but if you have the people in the background working the crew, you're meeting that criteria still.
Well, no, that's
so
what
you can have the supporting.
Well, a lot of people were saying that they're just going to fill it up in the back end. Okay, everybody in the back, you guys be the front's going to be the front, but you still have to. But you can't do that now, right? The way
you can.
I thought you said you could. I thought they started to get the front.
Well, that's only one. That's only
one of the
main
4.
actor and supporting cast. So that's one of the 4. You don't have to do this one. You can do production crew,
Oh,
internships.
and then it's the Wayne Rooney.
And marketing,
so
whatever.
You can be like, fuck that. And I'll do another.
It's like the Rooney. It's kind of a little bit. I tell you, it's like okay, let's just interview somebody, check it off. Okay, throw those guys in the back.
Totally.
And not only that, it's like, you can, yes, it's nice to have all these, but one of the things that they seem to include out is like these are pictures or movies that come out in theaters. They're not talking about streaming movies like on Netflix or Hulu and stuff like that, where they're killing it with a lot of stuff. It's a BS. They're not being considered.
It's a fake requirement. Then I mean, it's not a real requirement. Like you said, it's like, hey, this is what we're gonna do, but you're loophole.
So so you're saying good start, but not enough is what you're saying. So you think all 4 out of 4 should be hit? But then that's kind of going against what you were saying earlier.
No, not all 4 out of 4, but I think that you have to have. And again, this is only for Best Picture. Yeah, this is not for everything.
Right? Best Picture, like, are people really care about Best Picture anymore? Like, if
I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you what Best Picture. I can ask. Yeah. Did you?
No, but so all I hope is that this actually gets more people unrepresented involved in movie making.
Who votes for these? Like, is it
the Screen Actors Guild?
Yeah. So going back to that, like I said, I don't think I need like the requirement of the main actor like that, but I think some stuff like, hey, you can't always do somebody in this kind of role or something like that. Like, there's some other side rules you can make that doesn't involve the lead role or whatever or something like that.
So this kind of goes back to a topic that we've discussed before about switching out race race swapping in movies like The Little Mermaid. So I'm curious if there's going to be some more of it happening just because of this new rubric.
Well, it's not going to be race swapping. It should be new ideas. It should be a new story where you don't look at it as race swapping. It should be a new story that
my point being like, is Little Mermaid doing that, being like, hey, we want to go for Best Picture this year, so we're gonna get one A check.
Not even that, is like, are more movies going to be more woke, type of movies that come out to but they want to represent X, Y, Z, that, but is it going to be pushed to the forefront?
Well, what you're gonna see is you're probably gonna end up seeing nothing really change on the front end, and then they'll be like, well, they won because their audio guy is Chinese and this guy is so it's gonna be like they're gonna find that loophole, right? They might start out with, okay, give Little Mermaid this one, so we kind of did the right thing. Okay, now we can get the loophole.
I mean, this will be 2024 will be the first year doing it, so we just have to wait and see.
We'll see how. I'll withhold my judgment. Like I said, maybe it's a good start. Let's see
it's a good start. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some controversy comes out that's like, oh, they didn't actually hire these people. They said, or there'll be stuff like in the NFL. There's this stuff with coaches.
The contractors, they don't count.
Was it? Were they a full-time employee?
Or were they? That's a whole other.
I think that would be something crazy.
Maybe we just have to follow up and see who wins best role.
All right, so let's go to the last topic here. Since we have a pretty special interview coming up here, we got Muta from the Outlaws. He was with Tupac, rolled with Tupac. We got the Dear Mama documentary. If you haven't watched it on Hulu, go watch it.
So good.
So good.
It's a history lesson with just like pop culture. It's beautiful.
So watch that, and then stay tuned for our interview with him, which will come up next. So that's big that we got him, and we're really excited to have Muta on after that. So
Our first guest, and it's a big one.
huge. So in honor of that, I thought we'd go around and give our top, 3 or 5 rappers. What do you guys want to do?
Let's do it.
Rob?
Top 5 rappers, I would say, just the top.
So this is your top 5 favorite
It's not,
rappers.
it's not like
top
this is
five.
not
You
like
like.
the greatest ever. This is who you like.
Yeah.
Top 5 you like.
top 5 easily. Dylan,
Yeah.
Dylan.
There you go. All right, I think we're done.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
done, man. Wrap. All right, guys. See you next week.
Wrap it up.
No, but for real, I would say my top 5 in no particular order. Big Sean, lyricism, storytelling. I've seen him grow from his first album to where he is at now, deep storyteller. J. Cole is my number 1, easily, storytelling. Grew up with Tupac influence and everything like that. I also would say, forgot what the other ones are. So J. Cole, Fabulous, underrated, punchline king. And I would definitely say number 4. I would throw out number 4. I would say Tupac. Obviously, definitely grew up in the '90s. He was easily one of the early storytellers I can think of. And then lastly, this is kind of a sleeper. I wouldn't say he's the best rapper necessarily, but I would say Harry Mack. So if you're not familiar with him, he's all over TikTok and Instagram, but he's a freestyle rapper that goes around and asks people in public 5 words that can take up off the top of their head,
That's his guy.
and he'll immediately just he'll play a beat, throw it down, and he'll just spit rhymes.
That
changes
is
his flow.
talented.
He started off just doing just like interviewing people randomly. Then he started going on Omegle and randomly pop up to people's video chat, asking them the same 5 questions. And now he's blowing up so much that he's able to go on sports shows and actual the last one I saw he was on he was at a interview with Tom Brady, and they're doing the Hertz commercial. So the people are doing that. He freestyled for those folks, same kind of concept. So to be able to do that. White guy, do it in front of him. If you haven't seen him, check him out. Amazing freestylist off the top of the dome. Can switch his flows easily, stuff like that. So that's my top 5.
Oh yeah, that's a good list.
You go next?
Yeah, I'm down. So best rapper of all time, Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky.
No, just kidding.
He is nice.
Get out.
Yeah,
He's nice, man.
Yeah,
he really
honestly, when you watch, if you guys watch his
He's good.
show,
I love Dave.
dude, it's pure genius what he does. Pure genius watching it. But he's not truly on there. So my list of rappers that I would listen to,
Eminem.
because I'm white.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Actually, I'm not a big fan of him. I never have been a big fan. But yeah, I was gonna throw him in there, just being like, to be a white guy to make it get the respect because of his talent is pretty fucking cool. Yeah. But I would say love Luda. Anything he's on is dope. Same with Lil Wayne. He's like the feature king between him and Luda. I don't know who's on more songs actually. Drake. Love listening to Drake too, just because he switches between like R&B singing to rap and whatnot. And I feel like he's getting more into the storytelling again and whatnot. This one's a little controversial, but it's early Kanye. So I'm talking, late registration, college dropout. Those are when he was
So
cool.
after 808 Heartbreaks.
After 808, yeah, I think he went downhill. And then just because this guy is still around, still relevant, and is loved by so many, and can do anything from soul playing to what is that, sexual eruption? Yeah. So Snoop Dogg, he's just fucking cool. And then Lil Dicky was my 6th one, just for jokes. But I think talent wise, then it would be like Tupac, Biggie Smalls, Nas. Those guys are the most talented rappers.
All right, for me, I'll probably date myself since I'm like '90s, right? So Pac, number 1, always will be. So you got him. I throw in Bone Thugs, was one of mine. Naughty by Nature, another one I still listen to. To this day, DMX, early DMX especially. That's definitely one of the top ones. And then let's see, what's that? Fab, like he mentioned, he's under. We love Fab over here, so we always drop Fab. Punchline King, I think, right? So he's killing it, and then you gotta give Drake his flowers too, man. He's been so relevant. You can switch it up, and yeah, he has one of those voices where if you give him a crappy beat, he can turn it pretty hot. That's what I think is pretty good to listen to. So I'd probably round out kind of with that, but I'd have to also throw in Dr. Dre because I'm a producer at heart, so I got to get the beats with it, and I got to shout out one guy because he's the one that really got me into hip hop first. Warren G.
Ooh.
So those are mine. A couple of my games, not just top 5, but I think we all had a really good list. I think every single one of us had a really good list there. So that's awesome. And
any of those songs on or music on,
the party, the after party, right?
Yeah.
So, with that, we're gonna sign out and stay tuned to our interview coming up with Mutaf and Outlaw. It's gonna be hot. You guys gotta check it out. And if you haven't checked out Dear Mama, the new Tupac documentary,
check it out.
Check it out. All right, we out. Peace.